Hello and welcome from Lowell Super Speedway for some more NASCAR Wendy's Cup Series racing action with the Mobile 500. My name is Colin Denton and I will be your announcer for this afternoon's race. Let's get right into the starting lineups. On the pole position we have NASCAR fan 1418 in his Mountain Dew Toyota, and on the outside pole we have Gabriel Wanderley in the Viagra car. In the second row we have Colin Lindsay and K-Dude124. In the third row, we have Josh Harris and T-Love 48-man. In the fourth row, we have John Green and Alexander Miller. In the fifth row, James McDaniel and Johnny Gardner. In the sixth row, Rampage and NASCAR Man number 1. In the seventh row, Nick Smith and Tyrone Kingston. In the eighth row, NASCAR Fan 19 and Andrew Rich. In the ninth row, Barry Goldberg and Matt Johnson. And in the 10th row, Krabby Eric 900 and Dan Bandon. The rest of the order will flash up on the screen right now. Last week's winner, Stephen Willie, starting 39th today. Might not seem like a good position, but remember, last week at Bump Draft in Super Speedway, he came from 37th place to take the victory. So there is definitely a large potential for anybody to win this race. Lots of position swapping is going to be happening on this very fast and very long track. They're coming through turn number 4. We've got NASCAR fan 1418 and Gabriel Wanderley coming off the turn to lead us to the green flag. And let's see how exciting this racing is going to be today. The green flag is out. Immediately, the cars scatter across the track. We got 3 wide in different places as they head into turn number 1. Coming through, NASCAR fan 1418 takes the early lead, and we've already got trouble. It looks like Matt Johnson has taken the car into the wall, and there's more crashing down the backstretch. Dejon Weeks has gone over. Dejon Weeks has overturned, and now it looks like we got another car going over. That's Grayson Acevedo, taking a terrible tumble down in the grassy area of the track. A major incident on the first lap of the race, and as they come back around, caution flag waves. Major incident. There is Matt Johnson. We had mentioned his name. He was one of the first to be involved in this wreck that happened in turn number 2. Tyler Markell, he is down there as well with Acevedo. Let's take a different look at how this might have started. Happens kind of in the middle of the pack. You see a couple cars down in the apron. That might have been where the next incidents occurred. Several cars backing up into the wall. We are on board Emmett Juckham. Taking a look at what happens here. Looks like Golden goes around. Juckham's just trying to look for a spot. And it looks like someone got into Golden, which made Juckham get into him as well. Juckham goes for a spin down in the apron. Then more incident occurring further down the track. Here's Cooper's view of the wreck. Trying to determine. It might have been Johnson and Krabby Eric 900 possibly making contact that ended up starting that wreck. Cooper may have been a bit of a instigator of that next incident. But let's see what happens further down the track, as that is what causes some major flips. So you see up there we got Johnson. I'm seeing Sora, the Flash. They're all up there. Here's the next incident with Golden and Hayes and Cooper. And then it looks like it might have been Acevedo and Weeks getting together in the wall. Weeks goes overturned. Cars hits him, and then Markell hits Acevedo. That sends him over into a barrel roll. Harrison Butts spinning down there at the end of the wall. Major incident on the first lap of the race. Some cars are not even going to be able to complete a lap as they are stalled out. But on that note, we have cars coming down for pit stops. As you can see, we got a couple cars actually staying out. I'm noticing Barry Goldberg, Tyrone Kingston in that group. But John Green is going to be the one that leads them down pit road. As they come down, we're going to focus on the leader, John Green, as well as our front row. Let's see which one comes down first as cars start to make their pit stops. John Green's going to be the first one to make the stop. Looks like he is going to go for just gas only. It's going to be a gas-only stop for Green. He might get some advantage getting up there quickly. NASCAR Fan 1418 makes a right side tire pit stop. And it looks like Rampage is going to be the first one off of pit lane. But, of course, he's only going to be starting in the 4th position as they go to the restart. As we got 3 cars that stay out on the track. This is Acevedo's view of the wreck. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we will be right back with the action.
Where's the crew?
Do they expect us to do it?
Did they expect us to do it?
That's it.
Uh-oh.
Anybody need another Coke?
I'll take one. Thank you.
Welcome back to Lowell Superspeedway. Now, during that caution flag coming off of pit road, some kind of incident between NASCAR man number 1 and Dexter Black. Not sure what happened that might have caused that, but man, 2 cars making contact on the apron coming off pit road. Just not a very... Sounded a little bit sketchy to me. Not sure what incident occurred that might have caused that, but we will see how that plays out throughout the race. 6 cars have headed to the garage, and they are declared out for this race. As we head back to the restart, Goldberg is going to lead the pack along with Andrew Rich and Tyrone Kingston. Conrad Cooper down there a lap down. Pit strategy definitely playing a part as Rampage takes the first space off of pit road. He grabs 4th position coming to the restart. McDaniel, Gardner, Lindsey, Green, Harris all having the quick pit stops and getting out there. They are nearly 4 wide as they head into turn number 3. It looks like it might have been a little bit of contact between Gardner and Cooper right there. And I see a little bit of wall contact as well. Wanderley might have gotten into somebody right there. We're on board with him right now. There might have been some contact right there. I saw a couple cars smack the wall coming off of turn number 4. Heading into the tri-oval. They go back through the far turn. Goldberg now leading Rampage, who's taken 2nd place. That completes lap number 7. Now let's take a look at that incident that just occurred a couple minutes ago. So we're seeing right here, does look like Gardner makes a little contact with Cooper. He comes down the track, and then Wanderley hits Gardner, and Cooper becomes a victim of that. And, oh boy, we got problems on the racetrack. Lindsey and Campbell. Campbell makes a gigantic contact with Colin Lindsey. Smacks hard. And that is definitely going to kill the car. Colin Lindsey not going to have a very steady back end of that car now. Got smashed in by Zach Campbell. Let's take another look at that. Coming through the tri-oval, looks like Nick Smith gets into Colin Lindsey. Nope, sorry, that is not Nick Smith. That would actually be possibly Alexander Miller. Got into Colin Lindsey, and Nick Smith became a victim of that. And Zach Campbell makes the gigantic contact right there. Second another look like here. Looks like maybe Lindsay might have been drafting off of Josh Harris. Then Miller tried to get in there and do some more of that, but that did not work out well. Lindsay comes up the track and Smith is right there in the outside lane. And the cars are going to be heading the pit road again, and this time it looks like pretty much every car is going to be heading down this time, including Goldberg, Rich, and Kingston. You see the first one coming to pit road is Stephen Willie. Now he has made a big run near the front of the pack once again. As we explained at the beginning of the race, it looks like he is going to be taking a 2-tire stop, filling it up with fuel, and there he goes, another quick pit stop for Willie. Now, over at Barry Goldberg, the leader of the race right now, he's going to be taking 4 tires, along with some gasoline. Rampage is in second place. And NASCAR man number 1, who was in that incident last pit stop, he is also tuned in behind him. Rampage is going to be going for the 4-tire pit stop this time. Well, it looks like NASCAR man number 1 is content with just some fuel. Here they come off of pit lane, and NASCAR man number 1 is going to be the first one off. It's going to be another one of those races where pit strategy is going to become essential to how these drivers perform throughout the race. We're going to take another quick commercial break, and we will be right back.
Newman! Introducing new Gillette Fusion. On the front, 5 blades face closer together for more comfort. On the back, a precision trimmer for those tricky places, or just playing tricks.
I got those guys good. Looking sharp, Newman. Thanks.
New Gillette Fusion. In manual or battery powered. The only razor used by the Gillette Young Guns.
Welcome back to Lowell Super Speedway. Another set of cars out of the race right now. All 3 of those drivers you saw involved in the last wreck, Colin Lindsay, Nick Smith, and Zach Campbell, have all gone to the garage and are out for the race. As we take the green flag, NASCAR man number 1 has taken the lead over those round of pit stops. Josh Harris and Stephen Willie also had some very quick pit stops. We talked about Willie during that last round, and we saw how, oh boy, we got Rex and Willie is in it, and so is Harris. That is the top 2 coming to the restart, and Wanderly, the outside pole sitter, has smacked straight into Harris and just destroyed the front of the car. Cars come through. NASCAR man number 1, Conrad Cooper, gets a lap back. As you can see right there, it looks like Willie gets down, gets back up the racetrack. NASCAR man number 1 might have taken some damage from that, and Juan really just smashes into the back of Josh Harris. Could have been a more violent wreck, but it's definitely not going to be helping out any standing hopes. We're going to go on board with Wanderly now. See, the smoke is way up there, and I'm not sure what made him think that the high line was going to work. Doesn't let off, and then Harris comes down. Ugh. There definitely could have been some room to make some braking and turning down to the bottom of the track, and it just didn't happen. As we get on to pit stops, NASCAR man number 1 drops a jack down on the right side tires and goes to work on the left. Now, there might have been some damage sustained to his car. Looks like Rampage and NASCAR Fan 19 might have been the first ones off the pit lane, but I think that Goldberg has once again decided not to pit. NASCAR Fan 1418 might have played a role in that as well, and there goes NASCAR Man number 1. Let's take a look at the rear end of that car. You can see there's where the contact was made. They hit Johnson, and there goes Willie. He makes contact with NASCAR Man number 1. He's able to get away from the wreck, but definitely caused some cosmetic damage. As we head back to the green flag, Josh Harris, Stephen Willie, and Gabriel Wanderley have all declared out for the race. Alexander Miller was also involved, but he is going to be staying in. Goldberg, Krabier 900, and Pat Hayes have the edge right now. Lap 18 is where we are. 50 laps in this race. Definitely lots of time to be making some moves. And we got Sora turning down to the inside of the track and right in front of the crowd. Oh boy, more incident. And we've got another car on its roof. It's Harrison Butt. All 3 of the Lowe's cars wrecking today. Dan Bandon, front end smashed in. That car is not going to be starting up again. We'll also get some more incident. Don't remember actually seeing this as part of that live shot. Looks like Juckham has gone around. He's got some front end damage. Let's take a replay look. Looking up at the top of the track, and you see Saura gets pushed down by somebody. Looks like it was Brenner, right in front of Miller. Some more incident right there as Juckham gets into Rich. Then it looks like Butt got into Brenner, causes a big stack up behind him, and someone got into him that turned him over, and he did some rolling on the concrete. Not a good day if you have the Lowe's on the front of your car. Let's take a look at what might have happened further down the track. So Juckham got into somebody, and it looks like in the midst of that, a couple cars go around, including Brock Cars and NASCAR Man number 1. Juckham got into Rich, and that caused a bit of an accordion effect on all these drivers. So they are coming down pit road right now. Let's see what kind of strategy plays out here. We've got everybody on the pit right now. Goldberg coming down. He's going to make his pit stop. NASCAR Fan 19 right behind him. Incidentally, it turns out that the margin of heading back to the restart was less than 1/100th of a second between these two. Goldberg takes off, though it looks like John Arndt is going to be the one that has the lead off of pit road. Got Tila 48-man Black, McDaniel, Bush all coming off pit road first. It's going to shake up the standings right here on board of Harrison Butt as that accident occurs. Vicious accident as he just rolls and rolls on the concrete. That is not a good place to be. And they are heading back for the restart, and we have a couple more people out of the race. This is cutting down the field to nearly half of it. You can see the toll behind him. Conrad Cooper still on the inside line, looking to get some laps back. The green flag is out, and John Arndt has the lead after taking the front end of the pit stop. Tila 48-man, Dexter Black, James McDaniel, Lego Bush, all in front of Barry Goldberg, who came in first. With less cars in the field, it's not going to stack up just quite as much, but it's definitely going to be some tight racing We're going to see a lot of drafting and strategy. Not really much 3 to 4 wide pack racing at the moment. Only seeing one line that might be fulfilling that, but it's definitely more to come where that was. NASCAR Fan 1418 actually making another pit stop. I'm not sure what that's about. Barry Goldberg already trying to make a move to the front of the pack. He's been a fast car all day. You can see him on the back bumper of John Arndt, and he really wants to be there. He is trying to head to the lead, and I think he's going to get it. Heading to the inside in turn number 3. There he goes. He has got the lead. Definitely the lightning bolt of this race. More than halfway through the race, Goldberg still has the lead with Krabby Eric 900 on his tail. Rampage is actually caught up into 3rd place, and John Arndt is dropped back to 6th. Just showing more of how much these cars are going to change position heading into these final 23 laps. Rampage makes a move to the inside of Krabby Eric 900, grabs 2nd spot. We're on board John Arndt as he tries to make a move back to the front. Krabby Eric 900 is actually the one that looks like he's dropping now. Looks like that outside lane is not the place to be. McDaniel on the inside of him. Goldberg leading another lap. Rampage just a couple car lengths behind him. Oh boy, we've got... Looks like I saw a little bit of smoke right there, and it might have been from Andrew Rich. Not sure what that incident was about, but... Looks like the caution flag is flying as a result of it. Rich quickly makes a getaway. Noah Cars might have been another victim of that accident. Cars are pretty tame coming through. See some skid marks on the front stretch. Goldberg and Rampage hold the 1-2. Let's take a look at that incident. Got it from the high cam. Let's take a look at the back of the pack. Someone gets down. Marty Johnson goes down, and he got help from, I think that was Conrad Cooper. Rich became a victim of that. Cars was right behind him. Some bad bump drafting right there. We're on board Dexter Black. So you can see Cooper hits Johnson into the rear end of Andrew Rich, which turns Rich around, at least just sideways. And that results in a caution flag, and that's going to bring the cars to the pits again. John Arndt held the lead for a couple laps there, but he has dropped back quite a few spots. He hits pit lane, takes the right side tires, and it looks like he's going to go for the left side tires as well. 4-tire pit stop and gasoline. Goldberg and Rich. Goldberg the leader, but Rich was the one that was just involved in that accident. Goldberg is off. Rich is taking 4 tires. And Goldberg, if he gets in front of Krabby Eric 900, which he does, is going to take the lead once again, heading into the next restart. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we will be right back.
I got it.
FedEx is proud to introduce the number 11 car.
Welcome back to Lowell Superspeedway. It's been an eventful day so far. In the Mobile 500, let's take a look at what you've missed. Dejan Weeks has a tumble, and Grayson Acevedo quickly falls behind him. 2 flips in 1 wreck. Acevedo taking a definite more of a tumble. We go further along, just a couple laps actually. Nick Smith and Colin Lindsay get into the wall, and here comes Zach Campbell making a hard contact with Lindsay. All three drivers head to the garage. Then we have last week's winner, Stephen Willie, gets over and around and wanderly smashes into the back of Harris, ending a couple of those guys' day. Harry Saura gets into Miller, spins around, and Harrison Butt makes contact with Brenner, which sends him into a tumble. Flips around on his roof, sliding, finally lands on all fours. Good to see that he's okay, but his day is done. We're heading back to the green flag. Barry Goldberg retains the lead, and NASCAR fan 1418 and Conrad Cooper both struggling to stay afloat with the laps. John Green making a move down to the bottom. It's really paying off. He looks like he might be able to take the lead heading into turn number 3. Cooper and NASCAR fan 19 make contact. And they make even more contact as they wreck. They make heavy contact into the wall. And Cooper has stalled on the racetrack. NASCAR fan 19 is able to pull away, but he is heavily damaged. John Green is going to be the one that leads the pack, along with NASCAR man number 1 and John Arndt. Cooper was a lap down, at least. Meanwhile, NASCAR fan 19 fighting for a top 10 spot. They made contact a couple times, actually, as they head into turn number 3. You can see there's the first incident. Then Cooper comes back up the racetrack, and NASCAR fan 19 thinks he can get down in the back, and it looks like they take Gardner and T-Love 48 man with them. See from this bumper cam, see some of the incident that occurred. Here comes NASCAR fan 19 trying to get to the back just to do some drafting. But you don't want to draft a lapped car. Definitely not going to have the same speed. Unless it's a freak incident. That puts them back in that position. As they come down the pit lane, John Green and NASCAR man number 1 are the first two on the racetrack. NASCAR man number 1 is going to be the first one to make his pit stop. He's going to take a couple tires and get some gasoline. John Green following suit. NASCAR man number 1 takes off with just two right side tires. John Green doing the same. They come out in subsequent order. And it looks like NASCAR man number 1 is actually going to be the first one off pit lane, beating out John Green. John Arndt behind them. And as they come down for the green flag, Johnny Gardner and Conrad Cooper have declared out for the rest of this race. For that incident in turn number 3, the green flag out, Barry Goldberg, who's been the lightning bolt all race, currently in 4th, looking to make up some ground, using the lapped car. It's a bit of a roadblock, and he tries to go to the inside. NASCAR man number 1 holding the lead, leading some laps, trying to get as much bonus points as he can. And we've actually got an accident. Marty Johnson in turn number 3 looks a little bit stuck on the apron right there. And as it comes to the start-finish line, Barry Goldberg actually takes over the lead. Yellow flags out, and Paul Brenner might have been a little bit of an incident with him in that wreck. Let's take a look at the replay. We already see Brenner's going around, and Johnson unfortunately makes the contact with him, and that gets Johnson stuck. in the little divot between the groove of the racetrack and the apron. Looks like maybe McDaniel was the one that got into Brenner. Cars gets involved, but Johnson is the one that takes the hit. Not too much damage for him, so if he gets towed, he might be able to get back in this. We're going to take one final commercial break, and we'll be right back.
There's a craftsman in all of us.
Welcome back. For the conclusion of the Mobile 500, no cars taken out after that wreck in turn number 3. The green flag is out and Goldberg has the lead. Trailing right behind him, NASCAR main number 1 and Krabby Eric 900. NASCAR Fan 1418, as a part of the rules package, is blending in with the traffic for the last 10 laps of the race. So remember that he is not much of a factor as they run. On board with Rampage, making some bum drafting contact with Pat Hayes. They're really running some fast laps here as they hit lap number 44. Barry Goldberg still retaining a very good lead. He's getting a little bit of help from NASCAR Fan 1418, who's traveling a little bit slower than the rest of the cars, creating somewhat of a roadblock. Though that car is actually maintaining pretty good pace for what it's worth. 3 wide behind him. They come down. We got 6 laps to go here at Lowell Superspeedway. You want to pay close attention to this middle pack. That is where a lot of the position swapping is going to be happening into these final laps if we stay caution-free. Goldberg, he's in a pretty good position at the moment. If someone else is faster than him, and if nothing catastrophic happens to Goldberg, he looks like a solid place for a win. So at this point, you want to look at these cars that are in this pack. Those are the ones that are going to be flipping around a lot. John Green making his move past NASCAR Fan 1418. Top 10 is still a very respectable position to be in at the moment. You want to be able to get those points and be ready for the chase in the case that there might be some spots left open for non-winners. So a reminder of those chase rules. The winners have to be in the top 35 of the standings as you head into the chase races, and every single win that the driver gains is an extra 3 points onto the point standings as a bonus. Gives them a little bit of an advantage, but they got to stay consistent throughout the entire thing. Every 3 races, there will be an extra 1,000 points added to the top 12, then the top 8, and then the top 4. And at the final race, we will have the final 4 drivers racing based on best finish. And in the case that there might be a bit of tying for those non-winning positions, we will have both drivers or multiple drivers stick in the chase And at the end of the first round, as many cars as we need to eliminate to get to 12 will be eliminated. We have 3 laps left. Goldberg holding the lead over KDude124. And it looks like KDude124 is actually making a pit stop. He might be running out of fuel. Might have stretched just a little bit too much. You saw that they stayed on the track after the last caution. No one came on, but KDude124 might be struggling on gasoline. He is relinquishing a second place spot. That is not good. He needs those points right now. He's going to drop back a ton. A couple other cars followed suit. And here they come for the white flag. And NASCAR man number 1 making contact with somebody. I think it was Miller. They looked like they were about to go for a spin in the tri-oval, but they stayed straight. And Goldberg still holds the lead over Green. McDaniel makes a move to the inside. Rampage is trying to make a move as well. Cars are coming off the pit lane. Goldberg is having McDaniel in his mirror, hoping he stays there as well. Trying to do some last minute shuffling as they hit turn number 3 into turn number 4, passing up KDude124, who has gained speed back, but it's not going to matter. He's a lap down now. Goldberg comes off into the tri-oval, holding off McDaniel, wins the race. McDaniel behind him, and Rampage and Green come in neck and neck, but Green takes the position. NASCAR man number 1 rounds off the top 5. Goldberg is your winner for the second race of the NASCAR Wendy's Cup Series season. Now let's take a look at the final results from today's race. With Barry Goldberg taking the win, James McDaniel comes in behind him. John Green and Rampage neck and neck. And NASCAR man number 1 finished out the top 5 with Alexander Miller, Krabby Eric 900, Dexter Black, John Arndt, and Pat Hayes rounding out the top 10. And we also had 21 different did not finishes. Lots of cars heading to the garage, lots of wrecks throughout the race. Several of them spawning multiple car outings. Here's a look at your standings after today's race. Barry Goldberg propels into the top spot. Stephen Willey has a poor day and he is tied for 7th right now. Dexter Black, John Arndt, Alexander Miller, and Johnny Gardner are all in the top 5. Gardner did drop out of today's race, but the other 3 had pretty solid showings today. Still a lot of racing to go, still a lot of chances to get a win, but you gotta stay over that top 35 line. You can see a couple of drivers getting deep into that hole right now. They're gonna have to win some races and be consistent throughout the rest of the season if they want a chance to get into the chase. So that is going to do it for us here at Lowell Superspeedway. We hope you enjoyed NASCAR Wendy's Cup Series racing on RVN. We hope to see you all next time as we travel to Seattle for some more high-speed action. Thank you all for tuning in. Congrats to Barry Goldberg for winning the race, and hope to see you next time.